During the mid-19th century, tobacco companies realized they needed to put stiffer pieces of paper into their packages of cigarettes to make them stronger. Not wanting to put in just blank pieces of paper and realizing the huge marketing opportunity at hand, the tobacco companies started printing advertisements onto the cards. The success of the advertisements drew in newly established sports teams from around the country to feature their players' likenesses onto the cards, and with that, the idea of trading cards was born. The introduction of sports cards was a massive hit, in particular with the younger generation who could now have a physical copy of their favorite players and teams. At the time, the cards were not worth much in value. They purely existed as a mean for collection for the most dedicated of fans. It wasn't until 1909 when the American Tobacco Company put into production their T206 series, which would feature many different players. However, one player decided they didn't want their resemblance to be on the cards anymore. This player was Honus Wagner, considered one of the best baseball players from his era. The company stopped production of this card, but had already made around 50 to 200 of them. Over the next few decades, the card would pick up value due to its scarcity and potential as a collectible. In 1933, the card got its first valuation as a rare card, putting its price at around $50, $1,200 in today's money. The card continued to pick up speed in the late 1900s, selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars, but recently has gained massive notoriety as it sold for $7.5 million in 2022. There are three major ways a trading card gathers value. There is its grade, the condition the card is in when it's sold. There is the scarcity, how rare the card may be, and how many others there are that are like it. And of course, it comes down to who is on the card. It's no mistake that the greatest players of any given sport's trading cards are often the most desirable. The people that were able to reach the peak of their sport tend to garner the most fans, and when there's fans, there's money. In 1958, a Pele rookie card sold for $372,000. Pele is often considered one of the greatest soccer players to ever play, and a well-preserved card from his rookie season is sure to gather some attention. In terms of grading, there are three major companies that exist for people to send their cards to, and the gradings they receive back determine the value of the card. The three major companies are PSA, BGS, and SGC. For all three companies, the best grade to receive is a 10. The only exception is the BGS 10 Black Label. Scarcity of a card is ultimately what determines its value. That's why many of the most expensive cards in the world were created decades ago. A lot of the cards that were created have been lost to time, so the remainders attract a higher value. Now, in the world of trading cards, there are cards created for the purpose of scarcity, some having productions in the hundreds, and some being limited to a single card. In July of 2021, a one-of-one Stephen Curry rookie autograph card became the most expensive basketball card ever sold, purchased for an insane $5.9 million. And in 2018, a one-of-one Luka Doncic autograph rookie card sold for $4.6 million. Since its inception, sports cards have been the only form of trading cards that people would collect. That was until 1993, when the first TCG was released, Magic the Gathering. Trading card games were a completely different spin to the popular sports cards. Now, not only were you able to collect your favorite cards, you could also use them in battle. The appeal to the value of these trading cards were much like the other three mentioned earlier. However, with the introduction of battles, there was also another fourth addition to the list: how powerful the card is. Charizard was the most powerful card you could get from the base set of the trading card game Pokemon. Its appeal in battle as well as the rarity easily made the card collectible from its inception, and as time went on, the card got more and more valuable. In January of 2021, a base set Charizard sold at auction for $572,336. Even though this piece of paper is worth as much as a nice house, it doesn't even come close to the most expensive TCG card ever sold. As I said before, Magic the Gathering became the first trading card game to release. Their first line of cards were introduced in containers called Alpha Packs. In 1993, these packs would set you back $2.50. If you wanted to buy the same Alpha Pack today, if you could find one, it would cost you about $15,000. The reason for this steep price? The holy grail of Magic the Gathering cards, the Black Lotus. Only about 1,100 of these were ever made, and of these, about only 350 still remain. In March of 2024, a Black Lotus was sold for a ridiculous $3 million. For the price of a small jet, it could be all yours. And even then, there is still one TCG card more valuable than the Black Lotus. In late 1997, a challenge was introduced to the Pokemon community where participants could submit drawings that could potentially be used for some of the first Pokemon cards. The winners of this challenge were given the Pikachu Illustrator card as a reward, and for those who could hold on to theirs, it would massively go up in price. In July of 2021, a Pikachu Illustrator sold to Logan Paul for an estimated $6.1 million. Above all of these cards stands one card that has managed to enter into the 8-figure range and become the most expensive sports memorabilia ever sold at auction, surpassing even items that were used by players in-game. The 1952 Mickey Mantle card stands alone at the top of the card collecting world. Mantle was the most popular player of his time, when baseball was at its peak and ingrained in American culture. The scarcity of this card has led many surviving examples to reach well into the millions of dollars range. But the best example? A SGC graded 9.5 Mantle card sold at auction in 2022 for $12.6 million. So, what is the appeal of trading cards? Why would some people spend millions to own a 3-inch by 2-inch paper card that could easily be destroyed? And why would they collect them instead of other, more permanent collectibles? The answer lies in their simplicity. Trading cards are designed to be randomly found by their owners. The appeal that anyone could get an expensive card by opening any pack and hanging onto it for long enough is enough reason for most people. Trading cards don't take up much space and are lightweight, meaning they're the perfect starter collection item for any enthusiast. Card collecting is a lot like buying artwork. Some people don't get the appeal, and probably never will, but for those who are interested, the fascination of adding a new piece to your collection is beyond captivating.